Hello everyone, myself Chanaka Lakandava, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of ECE, STM-CET, Dharwad. So today's topic is I am going to tell how to execute the timer program in Keel software. Okay. So today's agenda is I am going to explain for three programs. First one is show the program for timer 0 to create a pulse width of 5 millisecond on P2.3. Second one is write a program to generate a square wave of 2 kilohertz frequency on P1.5. Then write a program to generate a square wave of 50 kilohertz frequency on P2.3. So let us take first one. So here they told to write a program for timer 0. Okay. Then after that they told pulse width of 5 millisecond on P2.3. Whatever the square wave you are going to generate, that square wave you have to display in the third bit of port 2. In the third bit of port 2. And they given here pulse width. It is not an entire period. Only half of the period is given, that is 5 millisecond. Pulse width means either on or off. The millisecond is given, that is 5 millisecond. It is not an entire period, it is a pulse width of the square wave. So now we'll see how to calculate the count using this millisecond. So this is the calculations for first program, that is show the program for timer 0 to create a pulse width of 5 millisecond on P2.3. So now we go for calculations. So here we took a pulse width as 5 millisecond as mentioned in question itself. So no need to do divided by 2 because this is a pulse width, not the entire period. So take direct a pulse width and do divided by 1.085 microsecond. So why it is 1.80 microsecond? It is a time period. So how you got this time period? By using the crystal frequency, that is 11.085 m second divided by 12. Okay. So when you do this, you are going to get the value, that is 900 something, that is a timer frequency. Using that you are going to calculate this period, that is 1.085. Whatever the timer frequency you are going to get, you do 1 by timer frequency, you are going to get this time period, that is 1.085 microsecond for that particular XTAL, that is crystal frequency. Now directly take that 5 millisecond, divide it by 1.085 microsecond. So you are going to get 4608 clocks. Okay, 4608 clocks. Then apply these clocks in either any two method. So I told how to calculate for in hex method and how to calculate in decimal method. So when you go for hex method, this is a formula, that is first maximum value FFFF minus initial count, whatever the counts you are going to load, plus 1 you are going to get the millisecond in terms of millisecond. But here already millisecond is given, you have to do reverse. Okay, you have to calculate the initial count. So for that you are going to do divided by 1.085 microsecond, so that you will get 4608 clocks. So that you convert it to hex. When you are going with hex method, whatever the value you got 4608, convert it to hex. So once you convert 4608 into hex, you are going to get 1200. Same formula to convert millisecond into count, count into millisecond. So now 4608 is converted into hex. So you got 1200. So subtract with FFFF plus 1. So here while doing hex method we will add 1, but while doing decimal method we will not add, because here why we add 1 is whenever the value which is rolls over from FFF to 00, you need an extra clock pulse. So that's why in hex method you have to add 1. Okay. So when you add 1, you are going to get the initial count as EE00. EE00. Then same thing when you apply in decimal. So already you got clocks in decimal, that is 4608. When you subtract with 65536, you are going to get 609282. So where 609282 is the decimal value of EE00. So whenever you do any method, the answer must be same. So now you came to know what is the initial value you are going to load in TH and TL to get 5 millisecond of pulse width. Okay. So 00 is a lower byte that is going to be loaded in TL, and EE is a higher byte that is going to be loaded in TH. Okay. So this is for first statement. So now we see the second one, calculation for second problem, that is write a program to generate a square wave of 2 kilohertz frequency on P1.5. So here frequency is given 2 kilohertz. So here millisecond is given. Either anyone will be given, or if it's not given, so if a count is given, directly you load in the TH and TL and you are going to get millisecond or frequency. So in this question frequency is given. So now using this frequency, first you have to calculate the millisecond time. Using that time you have to find what is the initial count you are going to load in TH and TL. So go for calculations. Frequency is given 2 kilohertz. Then you do T equal to 1 by F. Okay, 1 by frequency, that is a timer frequency. So 1 by 2 kilohertz you are going to get 500 microsecond. And whatever the value you get when you divide it by 1 by frequency, that time is going to give a entire time period. Okay, it's not for half of the pulse width, so it is going to give the entire time period. So don't use this entire time period to calculate the count. Always you have to use the pulse width of that particular waveform to count the entire initial count. So here whatever the 500 microsecond you got, this is a period for entire, including high and low pulse. Okay, so first you divide this by 2 so that you will get pulse width, half of the pulse width. So when you divide it by 2 you are going to get 250 microsecond for half pulse width. So using this half pulse width you have to calculate the initial count. Always using half pulse you have to create the initial count. Even if you see the first one, so they already mentioned that pulse width of 5 milliseconds. So pulse width means it is a half of the period. Okay, so whenever the period is given, you have to divide it by 2, and whatever the value you are going to get, you have to take that and you have to find the initial count. So frequency is given, you do 1 by 2, you are going to get 500 microsecond. Again you do divide by 2, so you'll get a half pulse of the period. Okay. So now the value is 250 microsecond. Then you divide it by the time period for that particular crystal frequency. So now you are going to get 230. 230. Then you subtract that 230 with 65536. You are going to get the answer as 65306. It is a decimal form. Then convert it to hex. You are going to get FF1A. So this is the initial count which you are going to load in TH and TL rest of the timer. So 1 is a lower byte that you are going to load in TL. FF is the higher byte that you are going to load in TH. So now we see the third part. Third example is write a program to generate a square wave of 50 kilohertz frequency on P2.3. Okay. So again in this example the frequency is given for the square wave, that is 50 kilohertz. So using that you have to find the initial count. Same method, uh, do 1 divided by f, so you are going to get a 20 millisecond. So when you do 1 divided by 50 kilohertz you are going to get 20 millisecond, and this is a second for entire period. Okay, then to calculate the initial count you have to divide it by 2. So when you divide it by 2 you are going to get 10 millisecond. When you divide it by 2 you are going to get 10 millisecond. Actually it is 20 millisecond. Okay, it's not 500 microsecond. So whatever the value you got when you divide by 1 divided by 50 kilohertz, it is a 20 millisecond. Okay, so let me correct this one. This is 20 millisecond, not 500, is a previous value. So 20 millisecond. So 20 millisecond when you divide it by 2 you are going to get 10 millisecond, and this time is for half pulse width. Okay, then you divide it by 1.085 microsecond, you are going to get the value as 9216. So this is a decimal form. So subtract using second method in the decimal form, that is 65536 minus 921, you are going to get the value as 56320. So this is a decimal value, convert it to hex, you are going to get DC00. So DC00. Now I will show how to execute in Keil software. So now I will open the Keil software. So once you open, this is a window. So first I will create a project. Go to project, new microvision project. So I'll create a folder. It's also called project here. So I will save by the name for timers 4, any name, and don't give extension when you are creating a project. When you are creating a file, then you have to end with extension. Then save this program. Then it will ask the vendor. So actually we are using from Intel. So go to this arrow mark, press this one, then you are going to see all the vendors, then select Intel. In that, which microcontroller you are dealing. So I am using 8051 microcontroller, so that's why I will select this 8051AH. So you can see the description of this 8051, that is 2 timers bar counters, 5 interrupts bar, 2 priority labels, 4 kilo B ROM, 128 bytes of on chip, so on. Then OK. Yes. Okay. So this name is already exist. I want to overwrite yes. Okay. So whenever you are doing first time, you will not get this window. So next, the target is created. Below this target, the source group is created. Whatever the file you are going to write here, that file has to be attached to source group. Then only you can see the result. So now I want to write the program for first one. So I'll go for file new. Then here I am going to write the program. So first one is you have to create a square wave for pulse width of 5 millisecond and you have to display in the port P2.3. So whenever I start with writing the program in timer, I have to select which timer I am going to use and which mode. So for that the instruction is move tmod. There is a register that is called tmod register, timer mode register, which is going to tell which timer and which mode you are used. Okay. So move tmod comma hash 0 1. So when you put 0 1 in tmod register, the timer 0 mode 1 is going to be selected. When you put 1 0, timer 1 mode 1 is going to be selected. So let us use timer 0 and mode 1. So the value for that is 0 1 that you are going to move in tmod register. So once the timer and mode is selected, then you initialize the counts. Okay. So now I will put the initial count in TL and TH register. First I will use TL register of timer 0 comma hash. So for first one for 5 millisecond, the initial count is EE00. Okay. So 00 is a lower byte. I'm going to store in TL. I'm going to store in TL. Then EE is a higher byte. I'm going to store in TH. Okay. Next, after this, I will complement the waveform in port number P2.3. So for that, I am going to use a instruction called CPL. Complement means it's a toggling of the square wave. So where I have to make toggling in port 2 of third bit. Port 2 of third bit. Enter. Next, I have to start the program here. I am not writing in terms of subroutine. I am writing starting, stopping the timer and monitoring in the same main program. So directly I go for starting the timer. So set bit TR 0 because it's a timer 0. Next, I will monitor the TF0 register. So I will use one label again. It will be in the same loop JNB TF0 comma again. So this is to monitor the timer flag. So until the value is in between EE00 to FFF, the TF will be 0. Once it rolls over from FF to 00, TF flag becomes 1. So once it becomes 1, you have to stop the timer by using instruction called CLR TR0. Next, you have to load 0 in flag register. That is TF0 register. So CLR TF0. Okay. After that, if you want a program, you want a square wave continuously, then go for SJump. You want only one cycle, no need to write SJump. You want a square wave continuously, then go for SJump here. So here means again you have to load the initial value, then you have to repeat the same. So this is a program. After this, you can write end, then save the program. So I will give a name called T1 with extension save. You can write program in capital letters or uppercase or lowercase. So now first one is selecting the timer and mode. So here I used 0 1. So it is nothing but selecting timer 0 and mode 1. Next, I am going to load the initial count of 5 millisecond. So after calculation, I got initial count as EE00, where higher byte I am going to store in TH and lower byte I am going to store in TL. Then I am going to go for toggling the square wave. So I will use the instruction called CPL P2.3. After that, I will start the timer by using set P TR0. Then I will monitor TF flag. So once it rolls over, I will stop the timer and I will clear the TF flag. Then I want a waveform continuously, means I will write sjump here. If you don't write sjump here, means you are going to get the waveform only for one cycle, on and off. Suppose you want continuous waveform, then go for sjump here. So here where it has to point, again you load the initial count and again start with from the beginning. Okay. So now already I saved this program, so that's why I can see the colors. Then after this, I'm going to attach this file to the source group. Select the source group, add existing files. Then here files of type is C source, but I saved in .s. So select that .s, means ASM source file. Then you can see all the files with .s. So now file name is t1.s. I will select this file, then add, close. So here you can see in the source group, the t1.s is saved. Then go for rebuild. Illegal. You can see here one error is there, that is error A1, illegal character in numeric constant. So double click here. So move th0, 0eh. Save, rebuild. Okay, so I didn't mention this in terms of hex, so that's why I wrote hex. Now you can see the errors are cleared, so it is 0 errors. Then start the debug session. So once you start the debug session, it will show a window called OK, then press OK. So before execution, I will open the timer bar counter window, then I will open the port window, then I will open the waveform window. So how to open the timer bar counter before execution? So here you can see file, edit, view, project. Here there is one icon called peripherals. So inside this peripherals, you can see interrupts, IO ports, serial communications and timers. So now for this example, I need timer and IO ports. So first I will open timer. So which timer you are using? Timer 0, select that one. So this is a timer window. Next, I go to same peripherals, then I will open port 2 because I am displaying the square wave in port 2. So port 2. So this is a port 2. Okay. So here I told that initially when you power up the 8051, all ports will be high. Okay. So same thing you can see P1 all are high. Okay. So according to the program you can alter the bits. So in this I am using only third bit. This is 0th bit, first bit, second bit, third bit. So you can, any toggling is happening, you can see here on and off only in third bit. Rest all will be 1. So this is a timer bar counter. So here if I press this one, you can see all modes of the timer. So mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. Okay. So no need to select. If you want to select, you can select. But if you don't select, means later it is going to be selected when you execute the first instruction. So if you don't want to select, okay. If you don't want to select, means by executing move tmod comma #01, it is going to be selected as a mode 1. Okay. Then this is again, this is for timer or counter. So you are writing timer program, you select timer. If you are writing counter, you can select counter. If you don't select also, means by executing the instruction whatever you wrote, it is going to be selected. Okay. So next you can see here tmod register. Initially tmod is 00 and TL is 00, TH is 00 and TF flag is 0 and TR is 0 and gate is 0. So when gate is 0, you can use in terms of software. So now I will start. Before starting, I will open this waveform window. So here you can see analysis window. Click that window. Okay. So this is a waveform window you are going to get. So I will open that window now. So already it is open. I'll just make it clear. So here which port you are going to use, that is P2. In P2.3 you are going to display the square wave. So for that you have to do some setup. So this is a logic analyzer where you are going to see the waveform. So first step here is go for setup, and here there is a insert new one. Click on that, then type which port you are going to use, that is P2, then enter. Okay. After entering, again you select on P2, then close. So now P2 is selected. So now I go for single step execution. So first instruction in this program is move tmod comma #01. Okay. First instruction is move tmod comma #01. The first instruction is here move tmod comma #01. So once I execute this, you can see the difference in mode selection also. By default it is 13-bit. So once I execute this instruction, it will going to switch to mode 1, that is 16-bit. Okay. Then you can see the value which 01 in tmod register. So now I will go for stepwise execution. So now I will select step. So you can see here previous it was 13-bit, now it is become 16-bit because it is selected mode 1. Then you can see the value in tmod register also. Okay. Next, here you can see TL is 0. After execution also the TL becomes 0 because the lower byte of this initial count is 0. So now I will click. So 00 is moved in TL. Now I will press TH0. So here initially it was 00. Now it is EE. Okay. Then you can see the toggling in the third bit of the port 2. So this is 0th bit, first bit, second bit, third bit. So here the third bit is 1. So once I press the execution button, so now you can see 0. So it is complemented. Okay. Now set BTR0 means it will start the timer. So blank means it is stop, tick mark means it is start. So here TR is 0 means it's not at started. Okay. So now when I execute, you can see the tick mark in front of TR0 means the time counting is started now. Okay. Then it will count until EE00 reaches to FFF until TF flag will be 0. So once it rolls over from FF to 00, you can see tick mark in front of TF0. Okay. So now I will go for single step execution. Along with that, you can see the values which are incrementing by 1. So you can see 3, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on. You can see the value in TL. Same thing, it will change again in TH. So it will reaches to FFF. It will reaches to FFF. So I am executing now. So you can see the cursor is in front of again only. Okay, until TF0 becomes 1, it will be in same loop. Okay. So you can see here the values are changing. 39, 49, so on. Okay. So after that, when it reaches to FF, you can see the TR becomes untick. So now it is EF, D9. So now it is F0, like that F1, F2, F3, it will continue. Okay. So now I will do simultaneously, you can see the waveform here. Okay. So directly I go for run because count is more. So now it is counting fast because I go for the overall execution, that is debug run. So you can see the values are counting here. Okay, simultaneously you can see the toggling happening in the ports. Okay, simultaneously you can see the waveform in the waveform window. So now I will show the waveform. Okay, so this is a waveform. So this is a waveform you are going to see. So if you want a zoom waveform, so press here auto. So you can see the waveform. Now I will stop this waveform. Okay, already stop this waveform so that you can see clearly. So I told this is a waveform which is displayed in P2.3 for 5 millisecond of pulse width. So here you can see the first end, that is 0 second. So here you can see the below there is a D, so that is 0 second. So when I move this cursor to the half a pulse, we can see 4.8 millisecond. It is approximately to 5 millisecond. Then I move to the entire period, it is approximately to 10 millisecond. So like this you are going to get the waveform for any timer. So this is a count, that is EE00 is a count, initial count to get 5 millisecond. Okay. So you can see here from off it is 5 millisecond, means 4.8 approximately 5 millisecond, then this will be 9.4, that is approximately 10 millisecond. So like this you have to get the waveform if you go for any timer program.